G'day legends, UFC 304, let's talk about it. I want to talk about the three big fights on the card. Number one, Paddy Pimblett goes and proves me wrong. Feel free to drop your hate comments below. Number two is obviously Tom Aspinall. Unbelievable. Tom Aspinall gets his first title defense as the correct and proper UFC World Heavyweight Champion, right? Then you got the Wish.com belt holder absolutely packing it in at home. The monster under his bed is Tom Aspinall. And Belal Muhammad is a UFC World Champion. I hear the UFC has already booked him to fight Tom Aspinall next week at the Apex. Let's start from the top, okay? Paddy Pimblett. Number one, Paddy Pimblett. I'm sorry. You're a good fighter. At some point, I have to stop saying, and I think everyone, on behalf of the whole community that has this narrative, and I'm a true believer in that narrative, Paddy Pimblett is a good fighter. You've got to say that, right? You don't get 5 or 6 bad lightweights in a row in the UFC. At some point, you just have to admit Paddy Pimblett is a pretty damn good fighter, and well done. He goes ahead and calls out Renato Moicano. That is a excellent matchup, a perfect call out. That is going to be a war. Both can't afford to lose at this point. And we have that new wrestler, Moicano. How is that going to go against the judo throws of Paddy Pimblett and the great jiu-jitsu of Paddy Pimblett? Of course, Moicano has also got great jiu-jitsu. And then when it comes to the hands, Moicano was dropped by Jarlin Turner. I think Paddy Pimblett's better with his hands than Jarlin Turner. Obviously, that's just some quick MMA math. More thinking is going to be needed for that fight. But I love that fight. BSD has a fight. Moicano and Paddy are set to bang. Dan Hooker has a fight. Lightweight is cooking again. We recently just talked about moving the lightweight division down on our list of the most exciting divisions in the UFC. But lightweight is cooking and setting itself up to be a more exciting division again in the future. We are in the next gen lightweight era as we speak, boys. Lastly, I just want to mention poor Robert Green, right? I feel sorry. I feel very, very sorry for Robert Green. Number one, changing your name, Robert, from Robert Green to King Green has made every single person who is not a corporate shill go from calling you Bobby King Green as a fun sort of nickname. Like, we were throwing King in there as a fun sort of a nickname thing to do. That was your nickname. We didn't mind calling you Bobby King Green as a nickname. But changing it legally has forced us to start saying Robert, because screw you, we have brains. We aren't going to be forced to call anybody King. That's kind of dumb, right? It's dumb to actually have your name as King. So everyone who is not a corporate shill has gone, King Green? No, Robert Green, mate. And you've actually made us use the moniker of King less by doing that. And you as an audience member now, you now know who is going to give it to you straight, right? Anyone who is saying King Green is a corporate shill that is going to give you the corporate spit shine on MMA. And anyone who is saying Robert Green is going to be giving you the real talk on MMA. That is why MMA YouTube, people like Lucas Tracy and Jesse on Fire and the MMA Guru are slowly killing MMA media, because MMA YouTube is real and MMA media is corporate bullshit, and the King Green moniker is now your high-level watermark for that. Number two is just Robert Green's luck in the cage in general. 2 fights ago, he had his head kicked in by Jarlin Turner. Not his head kicked in, his head bashed in by Jarlin Turner, because we had one of the latest stoppages you've ever seen in your life. In this fight, he is put unconscious by Paddy Pimblett. Unfortunately, the ref misses that he's unconscious, and he has every single ligament in his arm completely destroyed. Now, how bad was the injury? We don't know yet, but he couldn't tap during the armbar, and in the entire sequence afterwards, when you're looking at them announce the winner of the fight and congratulate each other, and Robert Green walking away and leaving the cage, for all of that evidence that we have, which is about 5 minutes of footage, it's sort of dead air footage, but it is a camera on Robert Green. The entire time we're looking at it, he isn't moving that arm at all. Not once. He does his little bow, he does it with one arm. He goes to shake Paddy Pimblett's hand, he does it with one arm. He's walking off the cage, he's holding his limp arm that isn't moving at all. I think every ligament in that arm was absolutely torn to shreds. He has got such a bad run with the referees lately. This one was hard to tell because he fell asleep in Paddy. He got choked out in Paddy Pimblett's triangle. But damn, man, just unlucky. Like, just straight up unlucky for Robert Green. And now no one's ever calling him king again. This is the problem, right? I like Robert Green. I like Robert Green. So it sucks to see this happen to him. Next up, right? Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes. Dana White, you are disgusting, money-hungry, roided up, bald fuck. Fuck you, Dana White. You goddamn fake WWE wannabe manager. You have a undisputed UFC World Heavyweight Champion as the backup fighter to a vintage make-believe belt fight, parading it around as the real belt. Again, you have your corporate bullshit MMA media versus MMA YouTube, which will just tell you it the way that it is. Jon Jones is a fake champ. Why is he fake? Because he is ducking Tom Aspinall. Jon Jones is being propped up by Dana White, so Dana White can have his own Michael Jordan of MMA and try and get a big price tag on his Michael Jordan of MMA in a bidding war because he wants the Saudis to give him $1 billion to have his Michael Jordan of MMA fight Francis Ngannou in a UFC versus PFL crossover fight in Saudi Arabia, again for about $1 billion. That is why we are having Jon Jones forced down our throat, which is unlucky because Jon Jones would prefer things to be forced down his throat. That is the truth. That is what is going on. That is what they're trying to do. And the UFC are ignoring their brilliant, English-made, fan favorite superstar in Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is a great heavyweight champion. He's a good guy. He's charismatic on the microphone. He's a family man. His son's got autism. He does everything right, everything by the book. And instead, corporate MMA wants us to be fans of someone who is a wife beater. I'm going to tell you what I told Robert when he tried to force us to call him king. Go fuck yourself. No, not doing it. Lastly, moving on, Leon Edwards. Dog shit. Dog shit, dog shit, dog shit. Bit harsh? I don't know. Leon, where was the striking? What the hell was that? Belal is jabbing you up and pushing you against the cage. You are a rangy kickboxer. You did not circle into space, not once in that fight, not one single time in that fight did he circle into space. Now, the first round, I can understand being shocked by this game plan of Belal Muhammad coming at you with the jabs. I can appreciate that. Second round, sure, I can appreciate it too, right? Things got to change slowly during the course of a fight. Fifth fucking round. Your coach is giving you the classic TikTok Leon Edwards speech we've all seen it a million times. And you still allow Belal to come at you with a forward jab, a forward jabbing motion, when there is so much fucking cage over here and you do not circle into it once. What the fuck was going on, Leon? It's embarrassing. Embarrassing. He's going off the pound for pound list with that fight, which is crazy because I just did my pound for pound list video and I said with Volk, you can't go from number one on the list to not even on the list. Shut up, Doug. You're wrong, okay? This loss was one of those losses. If you've been watching MMA for a while, you know what I'm going to talk about with this, right? Fighters have this aura about them. And often a fighter will get in the cage and fight the opponent's aura, not the fighter himself. Jon Jones has this. Izzy had this. We've seen this where a fighter is sort of intimidated by the fighter that is in the cage against them. Usman had this as well. This is one of those fights where Leon Edwards was beaten up so bad that everybody sees it. His opponents will not be scared of him anymore because of how badly he lost this fight. That is what happened to Leon here. He lost all of his aura. He lost it all. His TikTok motivation monopoly that he had is completely gone. Leon dropped the ball so hard, it is crazy. And the excuse of my body was tired because of the time zone of the fight. No. You cannot say that. You cannot say that when the UFC gave you 3 months notice to adjust your body clock and you did interviews saying that you hired a sleep coach to get you to get your body adjusted. These goddamn fighters, man, this is your job. This is your job. I am a drywaller, a simple, dumb dead shit, bottom of the barrel, tradesman, drywaller. If I do a corporate job, that means I need to be in there at night because the building needs to be open during the day. I adjust my sleep schedule for the week so I can be on at work. You are a UFC champion. For 3 months leading up to that fight, your best mate is the MMA guru and he's messed up sleep schedule. If you need a friend, you call up Bad Math MMA. He's up all night live streaming. This is your job, your legacy, your career. You hired a sleep coach, you had 3 months notice and a UFC belt to defend. If you were tired during a title fight, that is your fucking fault. Point blank, as simple as that. Belal worked you and worked you so good, you lost everything, Leon. Everything. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to see a rangy kickboxer not create space for themselves and then blame the sleep pattern or the time of the fight when they had so much notice and every reason in the world to just adjust their body clock for 3 months. When I know that people can adjust their body clock for their regular 9 to 5 job. Nurses adjust their body, like people who work on roadworks and have to do different time shifts. To sit at the crowning achievement of a division in the UFC and to make so many mistakes along the way is just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Belal's the champ, it's fine, it doesn't matter. That's JDM's belt. Belal Muhammad is just keeping it warm for JDM. JDM's gonna have that belt wrapped around his waist by July next year, I can guarantee that. JDM pieces him up on the hands, and if Leon Edwards can get up from Belal Muhammad's takedowns, with Belal Muhammad on top in full pressure and Leon Edwards can get back up, JDM can do that 100%. He could do it with a broken arm. So I'm just waiting for that fight to get made. It's JDM's belt, so it's all good. We just have to wait. That's it. That's UFC 304. Overall, really, really fun card. Might have gone a bit harsh on Leon Edwards, but goddamn it, it was so annoying to see someone who has so much potential and has so much skill not be able to use it all in the cage. That just frustrates me as a fan. I think it's because I genuinely liked Leon Edwards. I was a fan of him, and to see him drop the ball so hard gets me so annoyed. But that's it. That's UFC 304. I had a great time. Let me know what you thought about it down there in the comments, and of course, I'll see you all in the next video.